Kakashi just lost his Sharingan after over 670 chapters. Damn. Alright, so for starters with this chapter, definitely I gotta say one of the things that I noticed was the art in this particular one definitely felt a little bit messy and a little bit cluttered. Like, in the beginning of this chapter, I was really struggling to understand what the hell was going on between Sasuke, Naruto, and Madara. Like, you see them trying to explain it, and you see, like, the squiggly lines or whatever, so it definitely felt a little bit like it was hard to understand. But for the most part, you see that it's basically like a struggle between the two of them, and you're seeing the advancement of what Naruto and Sasuke got from their new abilities, and also what Madara's at right now as well. And one of the things, it seems as though Sasuke's Rinnegan allows him to move quicker, or I don't know if it helps him like to teleport from place to place. I believe it just helps him to move a bit quicker, or possibly like get swifted away or something like that. I don't think he's teleporting because he's not Shisui, obviously, but Madara definitely kept commentating within this chapter on how Sasuke was moving around, and holy shit, you've gotten real quick. So it's definitely due to the Rinnegan. So the Rinnegan gave him a huge advancement in speed. Again, I don't know if it's teleportation or if it's just like swift movement, like due to the Rinnegan pushing him aside, but he had an advancement nonetheless with the Rinnegan, increasing his speed at the very least. Now, one of the things that this chapter I want to note on is definitely Madara's Limbo technique. I'm curious, did he get that recently? Like, I don't really remember him using this technique prior to this chapter, so did he have that when he was fighting Guy Sensei, or did he get it after he absorbed the tree? And if he did have it while fighting Guy Sensei, was it that Guy was just so beast that even him trying to use the shadow and the Limbo, you know, the other dimension basically, and it didn't work because Guy was just fucking him up left and right? Or what was it, like, if he did indeed have that against Guy? Was it that Guy was too formidable, or he was just allowing it to happen because he was just having too much fun just going one-on-one without the shadow? Or was it that the Senju tree gave him this ability after absorbing it? So that was something that definitely got me curious, because I never really seen him use that technique, or I don't really remember him using that technique up until this chapter, where you actually get to see the thing stopping it. It could have been around, but this chapter we get to see this dark Madara, and there's pretty much like two Madaras, like one is him and one is like a dark clone. And I guess one of the big things that this chapter was trying to showcase is the different abilities and the different things that Naruto and Sasuke bring to the table with having these powers, because while Naruto can sense it, he can't see it, and then Sasuke can see it, but I'd imagine he can't sense it. And I guess a big part of that is definitely due to their Sage of Six Path powers, and again, one having Ashura, one have Indra, because probably Ashura was more in tune with nature, and he was more so into like Senjutsu, so that's why he can sense it. And also Naruto's been into that as well, so it could be that it's just like their own innate abilities. Naruto has been, you know, trained in Sage mode, so he's more able to sense things, but he's not really that focused and clear, while Sasuke has, you know, these eyes. So it could be a multitude of things. It could be that their powers have enhanced their ultimate abilities, because again, Sasuke is a visual guy, visual prowess, and Naruto is a sensory type of person. So I don't know if it's enhancement, or it's just ultimately that these powers were granted to them because now they have the Sage of Six Paths powers. And I like how Madara is piecing together little by little that there's a lot more of a connection between him and Sasuke than just blood, because he's like, yo, you got this, a similar Sharingan to me. Even that eye would be a nice fit for me. So Madara, while he doesn't really know about all this Ashura and Indra and Hagoromo shit or whatever, he is smart enough and understanding enough to realize that him and Sasuke, there's a strong connection, and obviously one of the big connections is Indra being passed down from him to the next, like having that chakra. That's probably the strong bonding, and the incarnation of Indra being within each of them, you know, first Madara, then passed down to Sasuke, is the big connection. And just Madara doesn't really understand all that. He just knows that there's some strong resemblance between the two of them, deeper than just being two Uchiha. Now, that Shadow Madara, definitely, if it wasn't for Naruto and Sasuke being this powered up, Madara, he's already hacked, don't get me wrong, but he would have been incredibly hacked had they not been able to sense it, see it, and been able to move fast enough to do something about it, because he can basically supplement, from what I understand with this chapter, he can basically supplement the shadow part. So let's just say, you know, he gets stabbed through the chest, like we see in the chapter, he gets stabbed through the chest. I was like, wait, what the fuck happened? But pretty much, he had the shadow go within him, and then the shadow took the rod, and basically he got out of it, which it really just seems like, where the fuck did all this come from? So I was definitely a little bit like, huh? But I'm guessing, again, he either had this for a while and he just now has to use it ever since he got the Sage powers. Again, like, because he only had really one true fight, and that was with Guy after, you know, getting the full powers of the Sage Six Paths. So he either had that already and Guy was just too much for him, or the Senju tree gave this to him. But it definitely felt like a bit overwhelming in this chapter, because you just see him using the shadow and he's perfect with it. And I'm just like, God damn, can Madara be any more fucking hacks? I'm just saying. One of the things that definitely I wasn't really too fond of in this chapter, and I was just like, oh, come on, really? Naruto listening to pretty much everything Sasuke says. Now, obviously, I don't want him to be like Naruto Part 1, where I'm going to do everything by myself, believe it, which he never said believe it, let's get that clear. But, you know, I don't want him to do that, but it just feels as though, especially he even says it, like, yo, it feels so terrible taking, like, basically orders from you. It feels as though I haven't grown at all. And as a reader, that's what I'm thinking. It's just like, can't they just come up with a plan together? Like, it's Naruto listening. Sasuke says, do this. Okay, do this. You're going to listen to me until the end. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, no, that shouldn't be going down. If anything, they should be sharing plans, or Naruto says a plan, or, you know, because Naruto, we've seen at this point, he's improved a lot. Strategy-wise, he's not the same he used to be, where he's going to fart on his opponents. He has gotten a lot deeper than that. So for him to just be sitting there and taking orders and Sasuke telling him what to do, it definitely feels, I don't know, I feel a certain way about it. It's like, I don't really like that, because it's like, Naruto is his own person, and to be listening to Sasuke at this point, and obviously, of course, you got to be working as a team. You got to listen to him. You can't just be like, fuck off, you know, I'm doing my own thing, because then we would have never progressed to be working as a team. And one of the big things about Naruto and, you know, I guess the bond between him and Sasuke and Sakura was teamwork. They were supposed to work as a team. But just seeing him telling him what to do and everything, I just felt like that shouldn't be going down at this particular point. That's something that's like, they should be like, maybe Naruto should tell him, okay, you do that, and then Sasuke tells him. That way, it's more of an even playing field, because otherwise it just feels as though, once again, Sasuke's on top, Sasuke's the brain, and Naruto has kind of somewhat become similar muscle. And one of the things that Madara says definitely got me a little bit curious as well. He says, only had Sasuke been born before Obito, he would have used him instead. But wasn't Obito pretty much, from what we've seen, a happy accident that pretty much he just happened to fuck up and then Madara got him afterward? Or could it be that Madara planned all this with Obito as well? I mean, that would just be fucking ridiculous at that point. Like, how the fuck you plan all this? Or could it have been that those Shinobi that was working, you know, because it was war at the time, and those two Shinobi that kidnapped Rin and all that stuff that went down, maybe Madara planned all that. Maybe those were all Zetsu or some shit. Because I was like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? Like, how would he, if Sasuke was born prior to Obito, if that wasn't the same circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to get him, unless the whole time, really, this has all been derived a part of Madara's plan. And we've seen most of the flashback, but we didn't really get to see, like, if indeed Madara planned all that, or it could have just been a throwaway line of him just thinking, man, that could have been, you know, Sasuke instead of Obito. And that's kind of just him admitting of how inferior Obito is as an Uchiha to Sasuke. Because, I mean, look what everything fucking Sasuke is doing in this chapter, like, Rinnegan, moving around, and it's his own Rinnegan. He didn't have to rely on Madara. Yo, give me that Rinnegan, bro. Fanboy moment right there. I love that moment when Naruto had the Shukaku Rasengan. I don't know what the exact name, but, you know, he used, like, the Shukaku power, which I'm not sure if he can, like, combine and make different Rasengans depending on what chakra he uses. Like, if he wants to use the 3 tails or something, or the 4 tails, and then make a different Rasengan, that's definitely an interesting thing right there, which, again, it's a different form of Rasengan. It's not a new technique, but nonetheless, it's interesting. At least, you know, get something different to look at, and, you know, a lot stronger, I'd imagine, because it's a combination between 9 tails, Sage of 6 Paths power, and then 1 tails as well. And then you have Sasuke, and his Chidori looked a little bit different. It looked like a lot darker or whatever. And then you have a combination when they smash Madara, and I was just like, fucking epic ass moment. That was one of my favorite action moments of the entire chapter, because I was just like, ooh, they fucking going in. And it just really shows that this fight is on an even playing field. While Madara got, you know, healed up and he has the tree inside of him, they have Asura and Indra, they have Sage of 6 Paths power, and they're also formidable Shinobi. So it's not just one-sided with Madara completely cowering them down. However, you know, not throughout the chapter you can see, because I know a lot of people are going to probably call bullshit with Madara just happening to, you know, show up at the last minute and say, hey, give me those eyes. Like, how did he know about all that? But throughout the chapter, he was worried, I need to get my original Rinnegan back. And that was why he popped in. And it just so happened, yeah, it felt a little coincidental, but it wasn't that he knew that Sakura was about to do that to Obito. He just happened to pop up and he was like, yo, get the fuck out of here. That's my eye. What are you doing? But that moment, we got to talk about that moment. Madara rips out Kakashi's eye, and I'm like, 670 chapters, and just like that, bam. I didn't even see it coming. I was just like, Kishimoto, you really did that? Could that be, though, because, you know, okay, Madara, he's in the other dimension. Now, people were like, how did he get to the other dimension? Hello, did you fucking read the chapter? Because, yeah, I see some comments here or there before, pretty much like in the Facebook or whatever. I just check to see what people are thinking before, you know, I get to reviewing or whatever. And I saw, like, a couple people like, what the fuck? That's so bullshit. When did Madara have that power to go between dimensions? Kakashi's eye. He puts it in. He uses the power. Ding dong. Although, to be fair, one of the things that kind of has bothered me for a long time, I just gotten used to it at this point, but it's kind of like, are we like plastic dolls? Like Madara just fucking rips out Kakashi's eye and just slaps it in, and he's like, good as new. I was just like, yeah. Like at that point, at this point already, it's to the point where okay, you know, whatever. It is what it is. This is how Naruto rolls. But definitely, it still always gives me like, shouldn't there be a little bit more of a strategic thing than just slapping it, you know, ripping it out and slapping it in? I mean, it's a fucking eye. And not to mention, Madara got chopped in half by Sasuke, and this chapter is called, I believe, Sasuke's Rinnegan. And again, like I said earlier in the video, this was mainly to showcase what Naruto and Sasuke can do now. And he's so quick to the point where he can catch up to Madara and chop him. But the thing is, Madara still isn't at full power, so there's still another power-up to come. So you can argue, yeah, okay, what the fuck is going on? Madara, like, how much more power do you need to contend with these two? But Madara's even admitting to himself, these aren't just average kids. I'm not fighting, you know, square one, square two. I'm fighting some serious opponents, and I need to take this shit serious. So that's why he wants his full abilities, because even right now, with having the Kamui eye, you know, Obito's eye or Kakashi's eye, and having Rinnegan, that's still not full power. And that's probably why Obito wasn't as powerful as he possibly could be, because he insisted, I need to stay with my one Sharingan and then have my Rinnegan. But Madara was like, no, I need my full Rinnegan so I can use the full abilities. Maybe something, if he has both of his Rinnegan, he can use those shadow abilities even further. But when Madara is showing up at the end of the chapter, he's basically throwing one of those rods. I'd imagine what's going to happen if nobody can teleport in, because both of those Kamui eyes are in there. Unless, like Naruto and Sasuke, like they have an even further power where they can jump through dimensions. Obito's probably going to jump in and send Sakura one last time over there with the Rinnegan, and that's what's going to happen with Kakashi. Like, because Kakashi, without his Sharingan, how much, I believe I asked this before, and I'll say it again, without his Sharingan, how much of a shinobi is he? Or would this be, at this point, at the end of the story, Kakashi's going to call it quits on being a shinobi, and he won't be able to? Or the Rinnegan is going to end up in Kakashi's hands, and Kakashi will have one eye regular, one eye Rinnegan, which it would be unsafe and unwise to have that, because at this particular point, Rinnegan is like, you know, one of the biggest, rarest jewels. And for him to have that ability and just walk around Konoha like, hey, I have a Rinnegan, that would be, you know, just not the wisest thing. People are going to constantly come after his life. So even if he does get Rinnegan, he shouldn't stay with it for the rest of the series. I believe, like, whereas looking like Kishimoto might be going with Kakashi is, at the end of all this, he's going to either die, which I think the time to die has already passed. Like, that should happen in the Pain arc if it was going to happen. And, well, then, you know, the whole Obito thing would have been messed up. But the time to have died for Kakashi, I feel, has passed already. I doubt it's going to happen. If it does, well, I'll be damned. But I think at the end of this, Kishimoto is more so leaning towards Kakashi having a normal life and not being a shinobi, because without a Sharingan, what else can he do? I mean, I'm sure he can still do little missions or whatever, but he's nowhere near going to be what he was, the copycat ninja with all these abilities, without the Sharingan. Overall, very action-packed chapter. Definitely, I gotta say, the art in this one, I was really just like scrambling and puzzled to understand some of the stuff that was going on because of the art, and also like Naruto taking orders from Sasuke. Really, I wasn't a fan of that either. However, there were some fucking amazing shits. The big moment of all, Kakashi getting his Sharingan ripped out, and then him basically charging into the other zone about to kill Obito. So, some good progression, some good development, and showing Sasuke and Naruto's abilities. And overall, it was a pretty damn good chapter. Again, a couple things, like I said, Naruto taking orders from Sasuke, I felt like BS, and the art was just a little bit messy here or there. So I'm gonna give this one 8 out of 10. A very good one again, but it wasn't perfect, and it did have some flaws within it. What do you guys think? First of all, do you think Kakashi's going to end up pretty much not being a shinobi at the end without his Sharingan? What can he do? Much. Do you feel he's still going to be a formidable shinobi without it? Or do you think he's going to get Rinnegan and live the rest of his life with the Rinnegan? Also, do you think that Madara had that Limbo ability when he fought Guy, or did he get it after the tree? And if he did have it while he was fighting Guy, was Guy that amazing that he couldn't do shit about it? And just overall thoughts of the chapter where you fucking mindfucked to see Kakashi getting his eye ripped out. I was like, I still can't believe it. 670-something chapters and gone like that. That's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Thumbs up for that crazy fucking moment in the chapter, because I'm still, like, in shock about that. Like, how? Why? ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.